You guys wouldn't even guess how many intros I've recorded by now. Yo, it's nice to see you. I'm guessing since you clicked on this video, you must be new to Street Fighter 6, or maybe this is the first fighting game you actually wanted to take seriously. Well, in today's video, I'll be breaking down 6 key tips to boost your learning process as fast as possible. So, without further ado, let's get into it. How to record the intros, goddammit. Alright guys, so first on the list is going to be strings. Now, strings do work a bit differently compared from other Street Fighter games. But all you need to know really is that you're constricted to using your lights mainly for strings to keep pressure running safe and more effective. And we're gonna hop in and I'm gonna explain on how you can test to see if a string is, what string is important or what strings you really use. We're gonna look at that right now. Alright, so the first thing you need to test when you're first hopping into the game or you're trying out a new character is what lights are chainable? What are chainable lights? Now, if you don't know what chainable lights are, they're basically lights that go into each other that you cannot interrupt with a jab. So to test that, what you would need to do, you would need to set Ryu to jab. Right? We want crouch jab to go into stand light kick. We want to do this. For some reason, we want to see if that's real. Do it. Nah. Down the jab, right? See how he interrupted that? That means that stand light kick is not chainable after crouching light punch. So let's test something out. Let's see if crouching light kick is chainable into itself. Oh, you see how you interrupted him right there? That means those lights aren't chainable into each other. So you need to go into the training room, you need to mess around with this. The string you really want to find is find a string that answers multiple problems at once. And your problems when it comes to strings are going to be, you want to stop your opponent from walking back, you want to stop them from mashing, and you want to try to put yourself in a space to where you can whiff punish or do something afterwards. So the string I recommend for testing out, or the string I recommend the most for using, is something like this. And this stops them. We're going to have Ryu walking back, right? So this stops them from walking back, stops them from mashing. He's in the perfect position to whiff punish. Now, not every character has this third option, unfortunately, but if you do have this option, you want to abuse it as best as you can. There's no reason not to. This is a very prominent thing in your game plan. That's really it for strings. You want to make sure you can stop them from walking back and mashing, because eventually you will want to, you'll condition them not to press and you will want to walk up throw. And if they keep walking back, you're not going to be able to, if you don't condition them, you're not going to be able to throw them. So it's good to have strings like that that solve multiple issues. And I think that's it for strings. So on to the next one. Now the next one, I already hinted at it, is going to be anti-airing and whiff punishing. Now these two kind of go hand in hand because you want to be at the same range to do both, which is going to be usually outside of, it's going to be outside of the opponent's longest reaching medium poke or normal for the most part. And we're from the hop back in game to give you another example. So we have Ryu here, right? We already seen that, crouching medium kick, that goes a pretty good distance, right? So if you have him in the corner, you want to be at a range where you can whiff punish this, and you want to be also at a range where you can anti-air them. Now, your normal anti-airs are going to be attached to your crouching buttons, Lucas, crouch fierce, or if you have a short Yukon or a DP, that's going to be your anti-air. And there's some exceptions like Aki with her stand heavy kick and Blanca with their stand kick, but you want to be typically underneath the clock to anti-air, and you want to keep this spacing them on throughout the entire stage. So if you're here, you want to be right here to be able to anti-air and whiff punish. If you're up here, you're not going to be able to anti-air or whiff punish. If you're back here, you're not going to be able to anti-air or whiff punish. So make sure you go in game, you practice being around this range. And let's talk more about whiff punishing. Now, when it comes to whiff punishing, usually your whiff punish buttons are going to be your mediums. They're your low risk but faster moving normals. Once you get a bit better, you can start using buttons like this. to whiff punish stand fears or start doing sweep. But these are really good pokes throughout the entire cast. This is pretty even. No matter what character you use, you should have a good medium button to whiff punish, to give you a quick example. So you want to stick to using mediums for whiff punishing when you're first starting out. So I do have a video if you want to get better at anti-airing and whiff punishing. It's on the channel. It's called how to get. I'll put it right here. It's called How to Get Stronger in Street Fighter 6. That's for more advanced stuff when you're more comfortable with what your character can do and you wanna actually like drill that in. That's the perfect video if you want better reactions or whatever. Check that video out. All right. Side note, but on to the next one. Oki. Now, Oki is basically your reward for knocking someone down, or I think it translates to knockdown pressure. So when you get done doing a combo, hop right back in game. I'm sorry. So your main goal with Oki, which is similar to strings, you want to kind of limit as many options as possible from your opponent, which is similar to what I explained with strings. So you want to solve multiple issues at once. So let's say when we knock Ryu down, we don't want him to jab, we don't want him to jump, backdash, or throw. Let's say we want to solve those 4 things. So we're going to set Ryu here to jab. Set to jab, baby. All right. Let's say we want to beat backdash. You gotta use the backdash.
Weak.
Alright, you beat backdash. Okay, let's see jump. We're gonna make him jump. Alright, we beat jump. Alright, now we're gonna set him to throw.
Huh?
So just like that, you want to find something, and every character has this, where it stops all 4 of those options. And that's all I'm gonna do for Oki. It can be a bit more vast because characters differ with different special moves and different knockdowns, but I feel like that's a good explanation to leave it there. So next, we're going to talk about super usage. Alright guys, so this next one is a quick one. It's about super usage. Now, supers in this game are a bit more important than they ever have been in other Street Fighters, because it kind of ties into the system mechanics of taking away your opponent's drive gauge. So when you use supers, you want to make sure you're doing it to either burn your opponent out or finish the round. So level 1 takes away a little bit, level 2 takes away a bit more, and level 3 takes away a bar and some change. And I'm going to give you a good example in game. Let's hop in game. So here we're going to have Ryu at 1 bar, and let's see how much damage the level 3 does to his drive gauge. When you want to use supers is either when your opponent is low in drive or low in health. Also keep in mind when you're low in drive, you can use a super to recover some of your drive gauge. It recovers during the cutscene of the super. The level 3, it will recover the most, of course, because the cutscene is longer. So that's another way you could use supers to your advantage. So keep that in mind. And that's really it for super usage. So let's move on to the next one. Alright guys, so next on the list is drive bar management. Now, drive bar management is what makes this game dynamic. It's very interesting to see how other players manage their drive, because you have some players like No Other Prodigy who burns out and does well, and then you have players like Punk who can manage their drive well throughout the entire round and be fine. So it's very interesting to see things like that. But drive meter management is more specific to the type of character or character you use, because some characters have more effective OD tools to their disposal, so they might have to use their drive meter a bit more than others. Let's hop in game and see what I'm talking about. Alright, so Juri main move for using her drive bar is this on top of this, right? This is her main game plan, when she throws this out to get back some of her fuhas or whatever. But you want to make sure while this is effective, you don't use it too much, because this entire game is about avoiding burnout. If you get burnt out, 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose. But there are some tricks that you can use to recover your drive gauge a bit quicker. Now I already named using level 3s or supers in general to recover some of your drive gauge. But let's say I throw this EX Fireball and look at my move. Okay, you see how long that took to recover? So if I throw the EX Fireball and I walk forward afterwards, let's see how fast it recovers then. See how fast that recovers now compared to when I sat still, or even if I walk back, it doesn't recover as quickly. Another trick to recover some of your drive bar is to hit your opponent blocking, or even if they're blocking, you can recover some of your drive gauge. So look at the drive bar here. See how much I still recover some drive gauge when I hit Ryu on block. You want to keep that in mind as well. So there's little tips like that you can use to recover your drive gauge a bit faster. You also want to keep in mind getting punish countered also takes away some of your drive. So if you're low on drive, you don't want to jump. Let me give you an example. See how that takes away from his drive gauge? That's all I'm going to say right now for drive bar management. For beginners, I think those are just the three most important things you want to keep in mind when you're low on drive or finna be burnt out. So we're going to move on to the last and final tip of the video so we can wrap this up. Alright guys, so our next and final tip is frame data. Now, frame data can sound a bit overwhelming at first, I agree, because when I was learning fighting games, I was like, I don't want to learn math. Who likes math? But it's not that complicated. It's actually pretty interesting because frame data is how you play your character to the fullest of their extent, right? It is what lets you know what you can and can't do. It's the whole reason why most interactions in the game happen in the first place. So at first, you need to learn your character's frame data, all right, before anybody else's. Just learn your character's frame data, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. You're gonna take it step by step. I got you. All right, so first what you would want to do, you want to get a character, whatever character you're interested in, and it's similar to the way you test like chainable lights. So first off, you would set Luke or whoever to jab, right, on block, and you want to see what button can go into what. All right, we're gonna see if crouch medium kick. Let's see if I could do crouch jab after crouch medium kick, right? I want to see if that works. So go in, set him to jab. Oh, it works. Alright, let's see if I can do a crouch medium punch or something. Oh, it doesn't work. Alright, so +1 means I only can do a jab afterwards. And then you can do that for like the entire cast. So then what you would want to do is you want to test your drive rush buttons as well. So in drive rush, it adds 4 advantage frames to whatever normal you press. So something like this that was +1 on block, right, that would be +5. Then you will want to see, okay, if that's +5, that means that'll work. Stuff like that. That's how you will want to test frame data. You only want to start with your character first. That's very important, alright guys? So when it comes to learning like the entire cast frame data, you don't want to tackle it at once because you'll get overwhelmed. Instead, whenever you start to lose to a character, whether it's Battle Hub, ranked, or a casual match, you want to take that character into the training room. You want to do exactly what I just did with Kim. You want to see what that character can do. Whatever you struggled with, whatever you're curious about, you want to lab against that. And for me, how I did it is that I don't like Kim, alright? I'm going to be honest, I hate Kim. I do not like him. People who watch me stream, y'all know I don't like Kim. So what I did when I first started playing this game is that I would take Ken, whenever I lost to him, I would take Ken into the training room and I would lab against the moves I struggled with, whether it was Jinrai or Heavy Dragon Lash or Stand Fierce, whatever. I would lab against that just to see what I can and can't do against it. And that's how I would recommend learning every character's frame data. Do it step by step, alright? You don't want to take it all at once, because if you do, you'll end up feeling overwhelmed and frustrated, and it won't stick because you don't have a reason for it to stick, if that makes any sense. If you hate a character, it'll stick for sure, trust me. And that's all for this video today, guys. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions, or if I suck at teaching, or if I need to explain something in more detail, just let me know. I'll answer anything. Catch me streaming sometimes. I'll answer it there, watch some replays, whatever. And I'll see you guys next one. Peace.